When someone strikes you, does fighting back really make you stronger, or does it just make you predictable? From a young age, we are taught that strength looks like retaliation. We're told to stand up for ourselves, to fight back harder, to never show weakness. The world admires those who react with force, those who don't let an insult go unanswered. But is that real strength? Or is it just falling into the trap others set for us? What if true strength isn't found in striking back, but in mastering your own response? What if real power is the ability to stay calm, to stay in control, when everything around you demands that you lose it? Imagine a man. In ancient Rome, he's walking through a crowded street, when suddenly someone slaps him across the right cheek, a calculated act of public humiliation. The crowd turns. All eyes are on him. Everyone expects him to explode with rage, to yell, to hit back, to escalate, but he doesn't. He stands still, silent, unshaken, and slowly, deliberately, he turns his head and offers the other cheek. In that moment, he sends a message more powerful than any punch. You do not control me. You do not define who I am. Your actions have no power over my soul. He shows that real strength is not about reacting. It's about choosing to remain sovereign over your emotions, choosing to live by your values, not by your impulses. Turning the other cheek is not about surrender. It's about supreme control over yourself. It's about a strength that is deeper, quieter, and far more lasting than anything violence could ever achieve. The kind of strength that no one, no insult, no attack can ever take from you. And that is the power we are going to explore together. Starting now. Most people believe that reacting quickly shows strength. They think that if you fight back right away, you prove you're powerful. If you shout louder, if you strike harder, you win. But is that really strength? Or is it simply being easy to control? Because the truth is, when you react without thinking, you are giving someone else the power to control you. They push a button, and you move. They insult you, and you lose your peace. They provoke you, and you give them exactly what they want. That's not power. That's slavery. Real strength begins with a simple truth. You are not your first reaction. Your emotions are real, but they don't have to run your life. Every time you react immediately, you let someone else pull the strings of your soul. You let anger lead you. You let fear take the driver's seat. You let pride decide your next move. And slowly, without realizing it, you lose yourself. True power is different. True power is slow, measured, silent when needed, deliberate when it's time to act. True power doesn't respond to every insult. True power doesn't need to prove itself every time it's challenged. It knows what it is, and that is enough. Imagine this. Someone insults you in public. Everyone expects you to fight back. They wait to see the fireworks. They want the show. But instead, you stand still. You look at them, calm, unmoved. You walk away, with dignity. In that moment, you show them, and everyone else, that your spirit cannot be shaken by small people trying to create small storms. You win a battle that most people don't even realize exists. Here's how you build this power, starting today. Practice pause before reacting. When someone tries to trigger you, when you feel anger rising, when your pride screams for you to answer back, stop. Take a deep breath. Count slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let the wave of emotion pass over you without pulling you under. In that pause, you regain your freedom. You step out of their trap. You choose your next move instead of letting anger choose for you. It's simple, it's quiet, and it's where your true power begins. But once you learn to pause, once you stop reacting without thinking, the next step becomes even more powerful. You must learn to see every challenge differently, not as a personal attack, but as an opportunity to strengthen your spirit. Let's move into step 2, reframing the situation. When someone insults you, it's easy to take it personally. It's easy to feel attacked, to feel like you must defend yourself, to feel like your worth is being challenged. But what if you could see it differently? What if, instead of seeing an insult as a personal attack, you saw it as a hidden opportunity? An opportunity to rise higher, to grow stronger, to become unshakable. You see, not every insult is about you. Most of the time, the people act out of their own pain, their own insecurities, their own inner chaos. They project their struggles outward, hoping to drag others into their storm. But you don't have to enter their storm. You don't have to let their pain become your pain. You don't have to let their anger become your anger. When you reframe the situation, you take away their power over you. You refuse to let their words define your value. You see their insult for what it really is, a test, an opportunity, a mirror reflecting who they are, not who you are. Here's a simple practice you can use. It's called reframe the insult. The next time someone insults you, instead of reacting, pause and silently tell yourself, this is not an attack. This is a test. This is a chance for me to stay calm and strong. Shift your mindset. See their words not as weapons, but as stepping stones. Each insult a chance to practice your inner peace. Each insult an invitation to rise above. When you do this, you turn every negative situation into fuel for your growth. You transform every attack into a moment of victory. You are no longer controlled by their words. You are defined only by the strength you choose to show. And the world will notice, not because you fought back, but because you stood taller, calmer, unshaken, in a world that expects you to fall apart. Once you learn to reframe every challenge, the next step is even more powerful: mastering emotional detachment, learning how to stay connected to your purpose without letting emotions pull you away from your peace. Let's move into step 3, master emotional detachment. Most people think emotional detachment means becoming cold or shutting yourself off from the world. But true emotional detachment is not about being numb. It's about protecting your inner peace. It's about staying connected to who you are, even when the world around you tries to pull you into chaos. It means you still feel, but you choose which emotions you wear and which ones you let pass by. You are not your anger. You are not your fear. You are not your pride. These are just visitors, passing through. You don't have to invite them in. You don't have to let them stay. You can watch them come, and you can watch them go, without losing yourself in the process. Imagine this. Your emotions are like a jacket. You can put it on when it serves you, and you can take it off when it doesn't. When someone attacks you, with insults, with anger, with judgment, you feel the reaction starting inside. The jacket of emotion wraps around you, tight, heavy, but you have a choice. You can pause. You can recognize that jacket for what it is, temporary, external, not who you truly are, and you can take it off. You can breathe deeply and step back into your true self, calm, steady, untouched. Here's how you practice this skill. It's called emotional detachment. The next time you feel overwhelmed by anger, pride, or hurt, pause. Visualize yourself reaching for that emotional jacket and gently taking it off. Feel yourself becoming lighter, freer, more rooted in your peace. Say quietly to yourself, "This feeling is real, but it is not me. I can choose to let it go." In this way, you protect your soul, you shield your energy, and you stay grounded in who you truly are. Because at the end of the day, true power is not about feeling nothing. It's about feeling everything and still choosing peace. And once you learn how to master emotional detachment, you gain access to one of the most powerful tools of all, the power of silence. Using silence not as surrender, but as a strategy, a weapon, a shield. Let's move into step 4. Use silence as your weapon. Silence is often misunderstood. People think staying silent means giving up, losing the argument, showing weakness. But the truth is, silence, when used with wisdom, is one of the strongest weapons you can carry. Because silence isn't emptiness. Silence is control. Silence is presence. Silence is strategy. When you respond with silence, you shift the entire dynamic. You take away the fuel that conflict needs to survive. Anger needs your reaction to grow. Pride needs your defense to escalate. Chaos needs your energy to spread. But when you stay silent, you refuse to feed the fire. You stand above the noise. You become immovable. Silence puts the weight back on your opponent. Suddenly, they are forced to face their own emotions, their own lack of control, their own need for validation. And you remain untouched, powerful, undisturbed. Imagine this. Someone challenges you publicly. They throw harsh words, trying to provoke you, trying to pull you into a fight, but you don't take the bait. You look at them, calm, steady, and say nothing. 10 seconds pass. The world keeps spinning, but the power shifts entirely to you. In that silence, you prove you are beyond their reach. You show that your dignity, your self-control, your peace cannot be shaken. Here's a simple but life-changing practice. It's called the power of silence. The next time someone tries to provoke you, pause. Say nothing for at least 10 seconds. Just breathe. Let the tension hang in the air. Watch as the situation changes. Watch as your silence says everything your words could never say. In that quiet space, you will find a new kind of strength. A strength louder than any shout, and more powerful than any argument. Remember, sometimes the loudest voice is the one that chooses not to speak. And when you have mastered the power of silence, there's only one thing left to build an unbreakable inner strength. A fortress so strong, no insult, no challenge, no storm can ever break you. Let's move into step 5. Build unbreakable inner strength. Real strength isn't about muscles or how loud you can shout. It's about something much deeper, something invisible but unshakable. True strength comes from within. It's the quiet confidence that no matter what happens around you, you remain centered. You remain grounded. You remain whole. When you build unbreakable inner strength, you are no longer defined by other people's actions. Their insults don't shake you. Their anger doesn't move you. Their approval or rejection doesn't change who you are. Because you know your worth comes from something higher, something untouchable, something eternal. You understand that your peace, your dignity, your power are not up for negotiation. They are yours to protect and yours to carry. Imagine this, inside your mind. You begin building a fortress, not made of stone and steel, but of faith, patience, wisdom, and inner peace. Each insult that comes your way, it bounces off the walls of your fortress. Each attempt to provoke you, it echoes harmlessly into the empty air outside. Your spirit remains untouched, calm, silent, powerful. No matter what storm rages around you, you stand unmoved. Here's how you can start building your inner fortress today. Take 5 minutes each day. Find a quiet place. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and imagine yourself standing inside a mighty fortress. See the walls around you, tall, strong, unbreakable. Feel the solid ground beneath your feet. Feel the peace, the strength, the stillness, and remind yourself, no one can define me. No one can take away my peace. I am stronger than the storm. With every breath, your fortress grows stronger. With every practice, your spirit becomes more resilient. And soon, no insult, no challenge, no chaos will ever be able to reach the core of who you are. Because true strength lives within. And when you have built that unbreakable fortress within, you'll discover a life that most people never find. A life where peace is not something you chase, but something you carry wherever you go. Let's wrap everything we've learned in the final conclusion. Invisible strength is true strength. True strength does not always roar. Sometimes it speaks through silence. Sometimes it shows itself in the calmness of a soul that refuses to be moved. Throughout this journey, we've seen that turning the other cheek is not about surrender. It's not about weakness. It's about claiming a higher power. The power to control yourself before the world can control you. Every moment you choose to pause before reacting, you take back your freedom. Every time you reframe an insult, you rise above the chaos. Every time you detach emotionally, you protect your peace. Every time you respond with silence, you shift the energy back into your own hands. And every day you build your inner fortress, you become someone who cannot be broken from the outside. This is the silent strength that turning the other cheek teaches us. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to answer every insult. You don't have to prove your power through noise. Sometimes your greatest victory is found in what you refuse to engage with. Because the strongest warriors are not those who defeat others, but those who have mastered themselves. Always remember, the ability to stay calm, to stay rooted, to stay unshaken, is one of the greatest strategies you will ever learn. Not for the world to see, but for your soul to carry. And when you live from that place, you no longer fear the storms. You become the calm within them. If this message spoke to you, take a second right now to like this video. Share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Together, let's spread the strength that moves in silence. And if you're ready to go even deeper, watch the next video, where we'll continue building the kind of life that no storm can ever break.